again, good afternoon to all the students and to all the adolescents who are joining us in this webinar series. It's been 3 months already since the enhanced community quarantine, right? So we are faced with the reality that we've been staying for more than 3 months at home. So congratulate yourself, no, for staying at home the past 3 months and for sure longer magstay pa tayo no sa ating mga tahanan because it's not yet done, no, the outbreak is still there. And the reality that we are facing today is not easy, especially staying at home, no. And as we stay at home, marami tayong mga na-experience at nararanasan, not only with our family but even in our own lives, right? And because we are staying at home, nakikita din natin, no, na nagkakaroon ng discovery. So the reason of that, because of the coronavirus outbreak, kaya tayo nagstay at home, no? And because of this pandemic crisis, since first time natin siyang na-experience ever in our entire life, no? We were caught by a sudden reactions or the things that we suddenly think of kung ano yung gagawin natin because of the outbreak. And because of this, it causes us things that are inconvenient, no, in life, no? And some of us might be already somehow recognizing na because of this outbreak, nagkaroon ng fear that we might get affected by the virus, no? Even if yung mga adolescents natin and yung mga youth natin are encouraged to stay at home, no, we can't stop sometimes to recognize na may takot, no, na baka mahawa yung family members or loved ones na lumalabas, especially to those people na meron silang, those students, no, na merong relatives na nagwo-work outside, no, yung mga loved ones natin. Not just that, because of the coronavirus outbreak as well, we are experiencing economic crisis, right? And in fact, no, sabi sa Department of Labor and Employment, 2,000 companies daw ang nag-declare ng permanent closure. So hindi madali din, no, ang nangyayari because of the outbreak na we didn't really expect it to happen. And because of that, maraming nawala ng work. And not just that, even affected, no? One way or another tayo, especially yung mga nandito ngayon, no, who are joining us. And sad to say, there were news already na may mga people din, some of the people are having a hard time na makabili ng phone because nagkaroon din ng changes. Like, we're already hearing a new normal way of living life, right? And because of this as well, nagkaroon ng fear of the future. Mga questions such as ano kaya ang mangyayari, no, bukas, no? And for sure, yung mga grade 12 students na who are present at this time, before the pandemic happens, you're already looking forward to your graduation ceremony because you're about to, to march and acknowledge, no, that you've already finished your of your senior high. So maraming mga instances that we didn't expect that are happening right now, and it gives us one way or another disturbances in life. We're gonna talk about the mental health, no? Kasi affected. There's a growing concerns and at the same time, growing talk about mental health kasi nagkakaroon ng if nagkakaroon ng mga emotions na we're maybe not aware of, and there's a growing campaign already for us to have self-awareness and at the same time to look into ourselves of what's going on deep within. Kasi because dahil nga nagkaroon na ng change, no? And we are calling it the new normal already. So hindi na yung dating gawin natin, hindi na yun yung nangyayari at this moment in time. So may change. And ang change kasi would take us will allow us to adjust, no, sa mga bagay na ginagawa natin. But this change can also be seen as a chance or an opportunity for us to discover ourselves, no? And not just to discover ourselves, but it's also a way for us to give full attention of ourselves, so that at the end of the journey, at the end of this journey, we can say that all is well, no? uh, all is well with the increased threat to mental health as well in the youth. Napapansin nyo yan, napapanood nyo yan sa news. And even kayo, sometimes, you're catching yourself feeling sad, di ba? And these are some of the emotions that you might be feeling, no? Or nare-recognize nyo, may emptiness, may loneliness, 'di ba? May fear nga, just as I've mentioned kanina, may numbness na, no? Anxiety, irritability, anger, stress na, may automatic stress na tinatawag, no? Na we can't somehow name kung saan nanggagaling yun, yung may confusion na. And for us to continue journeying this life, no, we will understand and learn how to develop positive self-concept. You see, when you say all is well, it doesn't necessarily that there is no trouble, there is no difficulty, no? But when we say all is well, in the midst of crisis, in the midst of, what's been happening, we can still say that I can get up, no? I can stand my ground, makakatayo ako, makakapag-continue ako sa buhay, okay? And at the same time, may resiliency, no? I can get back up at the end of the day, no matter how hopeless is the case. So this afternoon, we're gonna talk about self-concept, no? Kung paano mag-develop ng self-concept, because this is essential, especially sa mga na-experience natin today because of the pandemic. So we're gonna answer these questions. One is, what's the meaning of self-concept? Okay? And then later on, bakit nga ba importante ang pagkakaroon ng positive self-concept? And the last one is how to develop a positive self-concept. Alright? So ano nga ba yung self-concept? Okay? According to a social psychologist who is known for his study, no, on the self, social rejection, and at the same time belongingness, this is how he defined self-concept. So he defined that individual's belief, no, self-concept is the individual's belief about himself or herself, including, of course, person's attributes and who and what the self is. So kayo, at this moment in time, you might be thinking already, oo nga no, paano ko ba pinapaniwalaan or ano yung nakikita ko tungkol sa sarili ko? Sino ako at ano ako? Alright? Or maybe some of you haven't thought of that yet. Yung nagkaroon kayo ng time na uupo lang kayo and then you would reflect and you will give full attention of yourself. Baka hindi pa nangyayari yon, ano? So that's how Baumeister, no, defined it. Meron ding American psychologist who is expert, no? He is one of the founders among humanistic approach, no? And his name is Carl Rogers. According to him, okay, there are 3 parts of self-concept daw. May 3 different components. Okay, when we talk about self-concept, number 1, pinag-uusapan natin yung self-image according to him. So ano nga ba yung self-image? Ang self-image, similar to what Baumeister described self-concept, ito rin yung how do we see ourselves, no? When we look at the mirror, have you ever experienced that na ang tagal niyo lang sa mirror, nakaharap lang kayo sa mirror and you're really viewing yourself, no? And self-concept, it's also a combination of a person's attributes, okay, including the physical characteristics. So ito yung nakikita natin na physical, no? Na-visualize natin. Maganda ba yung mata natin? Matangos yung ilong natin? Yung complexion ba natin is acceptable? So ito yung mga physical description that one is describing. So not just that, the personal traits as well. So combination din siya ng physical characteristics, personal traits, personality traits, and the social roles, yung mga roles natin sa society. So, yung personality traits, ito yung pattern ng thoughts natin, ng feelings natin, at yung behavior na nakikita natin from ourselves. Yun ang personality traits. While the social roles, kung ano yung part na ginagampanan natin, say sa school, when you go out with your friends, no? And there are times that hindi consistent ang the way we see ourselves, no, yung view natin, hindi consistent sa kung ano yung reality. Right? Maybe you might be considering or thinking right now na may mga traits tayo, personality traits tayo na when we act in front of people, it's different if we're alone. Kung tayo lang, kung, or may mga pag-uugali or siguro mga nararamdaman na kapag kasama natin yung mga kaibigan natin sa labas, iba kapag kasama natin yung mga pamilya natin sa loob ng bahay. And there are also situations where one is inflating, no, the self-image. So iba na bibigyan niya ng sobrang pagpapahalaga, no, ang self-image, and others naman they have this feeling and nagkakaroon ng exaggeration, no, kung ano yung lacking, kung ano yung kulang sa sarili. And at the same time, not just kung ano yung kulang sa sarili, kung ano yung mga flaws sa sarili na hindi naman nakikita ng ibang tao. So, yun yung self-image. Well, the self-esteem, ito naman yung how we value ourselves. So, the question of valuing ourselves, di ba? Pag nagpapahalaga tayo sa sarili natin, binibigyan natin ito ng pagkakataon na maramdaman, marinig, no? At mag-improve, no, yung sarili natin. So, if I will ask you this afternoon, okay, how do you value yourself? Okay, binavalue nyo ba yung self nyo? Pinahahalagahan nyo ba? You see, there are factors, no, that can influence our self-esteem. And the factors, one of the factors is yung how do we compare ourselves to others. So, most of us, if not all, merong times na we tend to compare ourselves to others, especially sa social media, right? Now that we are in lockdown and mas mahaba pa yung pagstay natin sa home, especially your age 0 to 21 are encouraged to stay at home. And yung mga high risk na senior citizens, right? So pag nagstay tayo sa bahay, you know, most of the time, what we're doing is, you know, engaging ourselves to social media. And once na nasa social media tayo, marami tayong nakikita na suddenly, ang saya naman niya, di ba? Like someone posted something that what she's doing, right? So unknowingly, or both consciously and unconsciously, nako-compare natin yung sarili natin. And when we also show positive behaviors to other people, and kapag nag-respond sila positively, kasi pinakitaan natin sila ng magandang pag-uugali, then what happens is, yung self-esteem natin tumataas, okay, nadidevelop. Kapag naman ang response ng mga people around us, negative naman, so doon naman natin nararamdaman na bumababa yung self-esteem natin. So that's how this American psychologists explain it. And the third one is ideal self. Yung ideal self natin is, these are the things that I wish I could be someone. So ito yung mga wini-wish natin na gusto kong maging, no? And at the same time, it's different naman to how we would want to be in ourselves. So merong somehow ganong situation sa ideal self. Ito yung gusto ko, but currently the way I describe myself is different from the way I would want to see myself, no? So yun ang self-concept. That's why it's so essential, no, for us to really put full attention and give ourselves time to reflect. Nakilalanin din yung sarili natin first before we can build, no, with others. So that's important. Paano ba nakikreate? Paano ba nalilikha, no? Yung self natin, yung self concept natin. according to study, these are the factors kung paano natin nalilikha yung sarili natin growing up. Okay? Kung sino ka ngayon. So, una, family background. Um, when we reflect about ourselves, syempre tinitingnan natin kung ano yung status no ng family natin. Ano yung mga traits in the family that we have observed all throughout that you're living, no? Sa family ba, open ba, no, to communicate your emotions? Okay? Kasi may nagsasabi na although there's physical presence, emotionally absent naman. So I've talked to some of the students, no, na marami akong naririnig na hindi po kami sanay na mag-share kung ano yung nararamdaman namin. Or others naman would describe it like may mga parents na, you know, it has also to do with the way they grew up, no? Maybe, kasi may mga parents naman ding pag sinabi ko daw, pag shinare ko po yung nararamdaman ko, for example, nalulungkot ako or may tumatakbo sa isip ko, no, na somehow harmful. Pag ino-open sa parents ng ibang mga students, the parents would say, quote and quote, no, but of course, not taking it against them. Dahil baka yun lang yung split of tongue, no? Yun lang yung nasabi nilang bigla na nag-iinarte ka lang. O kaya sometimes, kaya mo yan kaagad na response, no, towards sa kung ano man yung gusto mong i-open na emotions, no? So may ganon, may ganong trait sa family. So, may factor yon para makapag-create tayo ng what kind of self-concept, no? Do we want to see ourselves? Tapos yung childhood environment then, 'di ba? Growing up, even before you were in the womb of your mom, what was the emotions of your parents? So it has also to do with that, no, na na-form then yung individual because of that. At the same time, ano yung environment when you were the formative years, no? Yung formative years kasi is until 5 years old. So how was the environment sa family, sa neighbors? Nagkaroon ba ng unconditional positive regard? And when you say unconditional positive regard, it talks about yung kapag ka nagagalit ka ba, were you allowed to somehow express, no, yung mga emotions in such a way that you wouldn't feel guilty, no? So may ganong factor. Of course, education, yung ability mo to perform, no, in your school. So have you noticed yourself like when you get a high grades, then you feel good, right? And then when you get naman lower grades or suddenly may bagsak because of valid reason, suddenly you would feel sad. You would feel like I'm not worthy anymore. So may mga ganon. So it has factor din siya, no, of creating self-concept. And again, social interaction. How are you when you socialize? No, ikaw ba ay introvert or extrovert or ambivalent? 'Di ba? May mga ganon. And it has also to do with your spirituality, no? Yung faith mo. Saan mo, sa ano yung foundation ng faith mo. So these are the collective research, no, na paano ma-create ang self-concept. Now, bakit nga ba importante na magkaroon ng positive self-concept, no? Bakit siya essential? Kailangan ba talaga siya? So those questions. You see, it's important because number one, it influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave. Kasi our mind is very strong, no? It's powerful. What we think, we become. There's this philosopher who stated that. So partly it's true and it's happening. Kaya mag-start siya on how we think about ourselves. And then affected na yung feelings natin and yung behavior natin. So, kaya it's very essential, no, to build a positive self-concept. And the second reason is also so that you can protect yourself from possible destruction. Kasi once na yung self-concept natin is hindi na-build or na-develop or hindi nag-grow, the things that can possibly happen is pwedeng kapag malungkot ka or kapag ka napansin mo yung sarili mo na parang you feel like lazy, tapos hindi lang one day, no? Umabot na ng 2 days, 3 days, tapos naging 1 week na, you can't get up na, nawalan na ng eagerness, nawalan na ng hope, then somehow, threat siya kasi it's like nalulose mo na yung eagerness or yung motive to live, 'di ba? Because you're already questioning the meaning of life, you're already somehow feeling down already because of what's happening. Kaya important ang mag-build ng self-concept, especially this season. And then the last one, it allows you to journey in life and leads you in welcoming your future. You see, even if we can say one way or another na indescribable yung nangyayari ngayon, no? Actually, the reality seems to be hopeless. But if you're able to develop positive self-concept, then you will always see a brighter side, no? From the dark side. Kumbaga, have you heard this statement na there's always light after the tunnel? Part of life, naturally, we face different kinds of hindrances and challenges. But those challenges can break us or make us. Okay? Can break us in a sense that hindi na natin nakita yung sarili natin that we're getting back up or standing. Kasi we weren't able to develop positive self-concept. So now, how to develop positive self-concept? Because it's important and essential siya, no, in facing life. And I will give you some practical ways that's so easy, and you can do that on your own. And then so that you won't forget it, I created the I Discover. See, kung ano yung nangyayari ngayon, it's new. This generation, we just first experience yung pandemic crisis, no, yung coronavirus. So, dahil first time natin siyang na-experience, let's discover. You put yourself and allow yourself to be in self-discovery. So, can everyone say, I discover? All right. So, how to develop? First is to identify my uniqueness. So, I made my statement the word my so that you can also verbalize. You can also say it, no? Identify my uniqueness. You see, everyone is unique, all right? No matter how you think about yourself compared to others, unique ka pa rin, nag-iisa ka, no? Wala kang katulad. You have your own unique giftings, you have your own unique talents na wala ang ibang tao. So, paano mo ba malalaman kung ano yung mga unique qualities mo and unique traits, no? You ask yourself these questions. What makes me unique? Of course, no? What are the things I notice myself? Diba? Give yourself time also. Have one-on-one with yourself. Ask what are the things I notice myself that makes me happy? What are the things that I notice myself that makes me feel good? That makes my family and friends appreciate about me? Diba? So that's number one, to identify, to name, ano ba yung unique sa akin? Okay? So that when you find yourself somehow comparing it, no, especially pag nag-scroll ka sa social media, pag nakita mo na halimbawa nag-post ng face, 'di ba? Matangos ang ilong, and then napansin mo sa self mo, hindi naman masyadong pango yung ilong ko or matangos, but okay lang. But it's unique because I'm unique. 'Di ba? Nag-iisa lang tong ilong na to. So, there. Tapos, develop my support group. Ano ba yung support group? Yung support group are those people whom you can trust that whenever you need, ears na mapakinggan ka, they're there for you. And hindi lang para pakinggan ka, but they are trusted people, no? Na you can be safe, na you will not be invalidated. But whenever you think of these people, no, okay, pag tinawagan ko si ganito, I can share to this friend or to this person that I identified kung ano yung mga na-experience ko at anong nararamdaman ko ngayon without judgment. So these are that people. So sino-sino ba to? It could be your family members, it could be your friends, peers, and it could also be people from organizations, no? Maraming youth organizations. Just what like yung organization where I'm affiliated with, no? So you can call them also ates, kuyas, whom you can trust, and whom you can be yourself, no? And then I discover, okay, so we are in self-discovery to develop a positive self-concept. Initiate activities with family members. When you say initiate, manggagaling sa'yo, may kusa. Okay? Don't wait for your family members to do something for you. But right now, you can do something, okay? So that you can have connection and deeper connection with your family members. So ikaw na yung magkusa. Paano ka magkukusa? Start up a conversation during mealtime. For example, one of the things siguro, if ang dynamic sa family nyo, okay, sabay-sabay dapat kumain. Ganon, di ba? And then, currently, ang nagiging picture kapag nasa table, naka-cellphone pa rin, di ba? Social media pa rin. So now that you're here and you're joining this seminar, you can initiate na ikaw mismo, wag ka muna mag-social media and then start up a conversation. Anong ginawa mo kanina? Kamusta yung trabaho? Ako po, ito yung nangyari sa akin. Yung ganon. And then how to initiate activities with family members, then help in the household chores. You know, when you do household chores, it's therapeutic also. Try. Kung ikaw yung adolescents na hindi ka ma-household chores, try mong maghugas ng plato tonight. Tapos i-observe mo yung sarili mo. Sige nga, try ko yung sinabi ni Coach Ses na maghugas ako ng plate. Tapos habang naghugas ka ng plate, after mong maghugas, recognize yourself. Listen to yourself. Ano yung mararamdaman mo? So I challenge you, you'll really somehow thank yourself. You'll feel good, no, na nakapaghugas ka. Another thing is join your parents in watching news or your siblings in movies. Siyain mo sila, di ba? May mga times that you want to be alone. That's fine. But wag naman most of the time, okay? So give yourself time where you can also spend with them. Okay? So I discover is to sleep well. Very important yung sleep. Sa age na your age, no, ang suggested sleeping time is 7 to 10 hours, 7 to 9 hours. Bakit importante yung sleep? Kasi connected siya sa physical health natin, and at the same time, yung concentration natin, okay? Affected din yung concentration natin kung wala tayong sleep. So, by this time, pansinin nyo din yung sarili nyo na, okay, para pala makapag-develop ako ng positive self-concept, I need to sleep. I need to have enough sleep. Okay? So if you recall the past 7 days, were you able to sleep ng at least 7 to 9 hours? Try nyo. And pag chinek nyo, pag naalala nyo, kung ang tulog niya lang is 4 to 5 hours the past 7 days na every night, no? Or kaya less than 5 hours, pansinin nyo, ang low ng pakiramdam. Okay? So, that's important, no? To have enough sleep. So, sleep well. And then C, call myself out from unhealthy thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Calling yourself out means confronting. Okay, when do you confront yourself? When do you call yourself out? Prolonged emotional stress. So, alam natin yan, like anyone who is aware, no, with oneself can say whether ang condition ng emotions is low or high or wala lang or so-so lang, diba? So, call yourself out. Say to yourself, I will call myself out. Okay? And then there are irrational thoughts. Ano ba yung irrational thoughts na na-form? Ayan, yung sa picture. Diba? You always think na I'm going to fail. I can't do anything right. Okay? They must hate me. So these are the thoughts that were formed sa mind natin na inalaw natin, no, na ma-form, no, sa mind natin. And then may mga times na I don't talk to people. I don't want to talk to people. no, and isolating yourself. So call it out, okay? I'm recognizing right now, why do I feel like I just want to be alone for a long time, no? So that's also how you can develop a positive self-concept. So these are the things that you have to be watchful of, no? And to call yourself out, no? When you think na, I can't do anything right, isa lang yung mali mo, kunwari, natanghali ka lang ng gising, tapos konting napagsabihan ka, for you, it's already, it's magnified already, no? You, see yourself like, baka bigla mong isipin, they hate me, they don't like me. So, call out yourself, no? When you think about these things. And so, discover, where malapit na tayo mag-end, observe myself at all times. Okay? So, mahilig tayong mag-observe ng other people's lives, right? But we don't give ourselves time to observe our own self, no? The way we think, the way we feel, kamusta ba yung day natin. So notice mo naman yung the things that you have done good, no, every day. Tapos appreciate yourself. Sometimes appreciation from other people, we don't get it right away because people would always think that, you know, you should do better. It's that's, you know, you can do good. Ganun na lang palagi. And yet, we're not receiving appreciation. So, in observing yourself, you can also try to appreciate your own self, no? And then observe, ano yung mararamdaman mo ulit? Ano yung nangyayari within you? Okay? And then increase your self-awareness. How to increase self-awareness? By observing yourself at all times, self-monitoring. And then validate myself constantly. So give myself a pat, okay, on the shoulder. You know, good job, sis. Good job, AJ. And then commend myself when I accomplish something. For example nga, maghugas ka ng plato tonight kasi hindi ka naghugas ng plato ever. Na after mong maghugas, wow, you were able to wash the dishes. So ganon, di ba? So i-commend mo yung self mo and then accept and embrace yourself. I'm gonna accept and I'm gonna embrace myself. Why do I need to accept myself? Because I am unique. I identified it. Okay, enhance myself. So very quick, enhancing yourself would mean attending webinar like this. So congratulations, everyone. Okay, tap yourself on the shoulder. Good job. You're able to attend this webinar and you're gonna learn a lot. And then care for myself by doing things I like. Ano ba yung gusto mong mga gawin? Gusto mo bang mag-drawing? Mag-draw ka. After mong mag-draw, mag-isip ka, no, ng pwede mong salihan. Especially now, even if it's limited, kasi hindi ka makalabas, may mga webinar trainings or may mga youth group organizations online na inaano nila, depende sa field, no, ng group of that people. So, join ka doon. And then set healthy boundaries. Pag sinabing setting healthy boundaries, you should also learn how to say no, no? Kapag ka-toxic na or na-feel mo, na-observe mo sa self mo na medyo affected na yung emotions mo, then you can set boundaries. You can communicate, no? Na I think I must give myself a time para mas makilala ko yung sarili ko. And then the last one is respond positively to challenges and crises. So, how to respond? Be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. So, quick to listen kapag merong mga misunderstanding, especially I can say na most of the misunderstanding that we are experiencing are with the family siguro, no? Kasi lagi natin silang kasama and then yung mga siblings natin. So kapag may tension na, since you are already learning, no, that being aware of myself is essential to build a positive self-concept, kapag may understanding, ikaw na din yung unang, okay, wait, I'll listen first. I will not say anything. And then, okay, slow. I'm not saying not to be angry, but to slow to become angry, to get angry. And then manage your worry. Okay? So it's not really removing completely, no, our negative thoughts or our negative feelings because it's part of who we are. It's our nature. But to manage it, okay, would allow us to grow to have positive self-concept and be calm. Okay? Kalma ka lang. Kalma. Stay calm, di ba? Ganon. So you can tell yourself kapag may tension na, okay, kapag nakikita mo na nagre-react ka na, rather than responding, you talk to yourself. Okay, kalma ka lang, kalma ka lang. Kung ako si AJ, kalma ka lang, AJ, kalma ka lang, AJ. So in summary, these are the practical ways, no? Practical consideration and suggestions how you can build and develop positive self-concept. I discover, identify my uniqueness, develop my support group, initiate activities with family members, sleep well, call myself out, observe myself at all times, validate myself constantly, enhance myself, and respond positively to challenges and crises. There's this anonymous who mentioned that the self is not something that one finds. So you're not looking for it, you're not looking yourself, but it is something that one creates. So today, this afternoon, I hope after this webinar, you'll be able to create, no, a positive self-concept. You'll be able to create a self, no, as you discover it, no, and declare this, say it. You know, there's power in our words, no? That's why when we hear statements and words that's, you know, somehow affected our emotions, yun na yung nangyayari, no? And just observe it. That's why you declare it, I am beautifully and wonderfully made by Creator, by my Creator. Write down 5 things you suddenly think about yourself. So yung naisip mo lang, sino ba ako? Ano ako? So write 5 things, okay? Huwag mo pag-isipan ng malalim. Isipin, write down lang. And then read each item aloud and notice yourself which from those you feel confident and which ones aren't. So pag binasa mo, for example, ako ay masiyahin kapag kasama ko ang aking mga kaibigan. Okay? I'm smiling if I get to watch, for example, Korean drama series. And then, kapag meron kang nasulat na you feel like you're not confident, parang, ay, ito pala din yung naisip ko suddenly about myself, I'd like you to write a counter statements to items you weren't comfortable with and read it aloud once again. For example, suddenly naisip mo about yourself na malungkot ako kapag wala akong kinakausap na mga kaibigan. Okay? So that's something na, of course, you're not confident to say because nalulungkot ka pag wala kang kausap. Then write a counter statement for that. Makikipag-usap ako sa mga kaibigan ko para maging masaya ko.